Movies on the Brain, the channel where we dive deep into the heart of cinema. Today I will be reviewing the intense and gritty thriller 13 from 2010. Directed by Gela Babulani, this film plunges you into a world of high stakes and nerve wracking suspense. Starring Sam Riley and Mickey Rourke, 13 is a roller coaster of tension and unpredictability. Warning, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, proceed with caution. Get ready as we unravel the layers of this dark and gripping tale. Now, I'm going to tell you what I found about its box office run, which isn't very much, but 13 debuted at the South by Southwest Film Festival on March 13th, 2010, and opened in theaters on October 28th, 2011, with an estimated budget of $20 million. It did not have a domestic release, and internationally it made $3,645,312. I'm not sure how many weeks it ran or where it was being shown. Now let's get into the plot because honestly, this was an interesting movie. Vincent Vince Farrow overhears people talking about a dead man who's going to start a well-paid job. Farrow, in need of money, steals an envelope containing the instructions for the job. He arrives at an event in a secluded place. He is ordered to strip, and his boot heels are cut off in order to check for surveillance equipment. The organizers accept him for the job instead of a dead man. The job is participation in a series of Russian roulette games. There are several participants identified by number. In each round, the participants have to spin the cylinder of the revolver and shoot when the light of a special light bulb is switched on. The event is organized for the enjoyment of rich spectators, one of these spectators being Jasper Baggs, who places bet on who will survive. Baggs bets on his brother Ronald, who was brought from the mental institution. One of the participants, Patrick Jefferson, who was brought out of prison by his patron Jimmy to compete, begs Jimmy to help, but it is ignored. He then bargains with Jimmy about the hidden loot which he and his son robbed from a truck before going to prison. He requests Jimmy to give half of the loot to his imprisoned son, and Jimmy can keep half of it if he dies in the game. In the first round, the participants each get one bullet in their revolver. They are arranged into a circle, and each one has to aim his revolver at the man in front of him. Farrow tries to back out, but he is forced to participate. As number 13, he survives the first round and fires his gun only after being threatened with death. In the second round, in which two bullets are placed in each gun, Farrow survives only because the man behind him is killed before he can fire. In the third round, with three bullets in each gun, Farrow survives again along with four other men. In the final round, Farrell is one of two survivors randomly chosen to participate in a duel. Three others are finished and get a large sum of money. Jimmy then tries to Garrett Jefferson to steal the map of the loot to take all the money for himself. Another employee catches Jimmy in the act and demands that he stops, insisting that no one is allowed to harm the surviving players. Jefferson then reveals the supposed map to Jimmy, which turns out to be blank paper, and mocks Jimmy for being fooled by him. As the angered Jimmy leaves, Jefferson collects his belongings and leaves, but not before burning the paper, which turns out to be the hidden real map of his loot so no one can find it, as well as fooling Jimmy from pursuing him later on. Against the odds, Farrell wins the duel and gets $1,850,000. He also learns that his opponent won his last three duels. He collects his winnings and sneaks away from the mansion, arriving at a train station. When he spots police closing in on him, he stashes his winnings in a garbage can. After being interrogated by the police, he retrieves the money and sends it to his family via registered mail and buys a toy for his sister's birthday. However, on the way home, he is shot by Jasper, partly in revenge for Farrell having killed Ronald, and partly to steal the money, as he thinks Farrell still has the money on him. Jasper escapes with the money bag, not knowing that it only contains the toy. Before dying, Farrell takes out the package receipt and swallows it so the authority and Jasper will not be able to trace the money. Now let's look at the cast and some other roles they've done. And I'll be honest, I've only seen three of these actors in other things. Jason Statham as Jasper Baggs. Other roles for Jason Statham include H in Wrath of Man, Rick Ford in Spy, and Joey in Redemption. Sam Riley as Vincent Farrell. Other roles for Sam Riley include James in The Vault, Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and Thomas Seymour in Firebrand. Ray Winstone as Ronald Lynn Baggs. Other roles for Ray Winston include Mr. French in The Departed, Beowulf in 2007's Beowulf, and Bad Bill in Rango. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson as Jimmy. Other roles for Curtis 50 Cent Jackson include Kanan in the TV show Power, Marcus in Get Rich or Die Trying, and Hush in the Escape Plan franchise. Mickey Rourke as Patrick Jefferson. Other roles for Mickey Rourke include Randy the Ram Robinson in The Wrestler, Maxwell in The Courier, and Frank Donovan in Tiger. David Zayas as Detective Mullane. Other roles for David Zayas include Oliver in Skyline, General Garza in The Expendables, and Manny in the Hawks 2 video game. Emmanuel Cherky as Eileen. Other roles for Emmanuel Chikri include Barbie in Diana Gunfight, Gina in the TV show Shut Eye, and Sloane in the TV show Entourage. Michael Shannon as Henry. Other roles for Michael Shannon include Curtis in Take Shelter, Richard Strickland in The Shape of Water, and George Jones in the TV show George and Tammy. Dane Gazzara as Blondorf. Before his passing in February of 2012, other roles for Ben Gazzara include Jack McKay in Dogville, Jackie Treehorn in The Big Lebowski, and Brad Wesley in 1989's Roadhouse. Alexander Skarsgård as Jack. Other roles for Alexander Skarsgård include Tarzan in The Legend of Tarzan, James Foster in Infinity Pool, and Eric Northman in the TV show True Blood. Gabby Hoffman as Clara Farrell. Other roles for Gabby Hoffman include Caroline Sackler in the TV show Girls, Ruby Jetson in 2014's Veronica Mars, and Viv in Come On, Come On. Michael Berry Jr. as William. Other roles for Michael Berry Jr. include Twig in The Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Julia's Kidnapper in Mission Impossible 3, and the Bull in Where the Wild Things Are. Chuck Zito as Ted. Other roles for Chuck Zito include Danny T in Homefront, Dominic in Blood Circus, and Frankie Diamonds in the TV show Sons of Anarchy. Now let's get to my thoughts. Honestly, the movie was kind of all over the place because it goes from, well, not really current day, but current day in the movie, flashback, back to current day, but it wasn't all that bad. I mean, it was actually kind of easy to follow once I figured out what it was doing. This was actually my first time seeing Sam Riley in anything, and honestly, I feel like he was top notch as the lead. 50 Cent and Mickey Rourke have actually pretty good chemistry together in all those scenes they had together. Michael Shannon was a treat to hear and see. I didn't read the full cast list before watching, so seeing him was a surprise. Jasper was interesting to watch, and it was wild to see how vindictive he was after his brother was killed in the game, which, to my understanding, is basically Russian roulette, but with lots of people and gambling involved. Honestly, if you want to watch a movie that's around 90 minutes and has some pretty decent drama, this is an alright choice. Honestly, probably wouldn't be able to watch it more than a couple of times, but I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for more movies with Sam Riley. Now, I couldn't find very many fun facts and trivia about the movie, but here's what I found. All the numbers on the train cars in various parts of the film add up to the number 13, and Ray Liotta was originally cast in the role of Detective Larry Mullane, a part that eventually went to David Zayas after Liotta had to bow out due to a scheduling conflict. And that wraps up our deep dive into 13. It's a game of chance where every decision could be your last. Thanks for joining me on this intense journey through the twists and turns of the fate. If you enjoyed this spoiler-filled review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest videos here at Movies on the Brain. Have thoughts about the movie or my review? Drop your comments below. I love hearing from you. Until next time, keep those reels spinning and your mind racing.